Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Unrushed with Nadya, where we slow down, deep dive, and let the conversation flow. Today, I have an amazing guest from UK, Erica Farmer, a TEDx speaker, author of AI for People Professional, and an expert on engaging teams with AI and future skills. As an AI speaker finalist for 2025, Erica runs practical workshops that help organizations navigate the human side of AI. She's on a mission to bridge the gap between technology and human potential. Welcome, Erica. How are you doing?
Really good, thank you. And thank you so much for the invite to be here. It's brilliant.
I'm very pleased, Erica, and you are one of the few people I will never forget because of the response, how excited you were. Because when I go through the profiles of my guest, I somehow feel very connected to them and I'm sending them invites and I do have vibes. And you sent me a response that equally matched my excitement. So welcome and I love you for that.
Well, thank you so much. That's great. Great to hear. I do try to be enthusiastic in everything I do. I think it's kind of part of my neurodivergent profile is I get very excited about opportunities just to share what I do and meet new people. So I'm glad it came across that way.
Yes, I was super thrilled. Like I was equally excited when I was writing that message and typing it, and when I received your message, I read it twice. So that's how we are at same energy level of excitement.
Absolutely. There's too much kind of sadness and dullness in the world. Like we got to bring some energy, right?
We do not want to be sad anymore, especially with interaction with people. So I'm a very hello person. Like even if I go to a store, like I will say hello from cashier to security guard to admin to everyone. And people know me when I go there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think my Uber drivers are just like, stop talking when I get into the car. I'm like, hi, how are you? Are you having a good day? They're like, yes, stop talking at me.
Yeah. And I live in Europe and here people are not very open, but I still say, okay, you're not open. I want to say hello. Okay. Erica, doing amazing work and congratulations. You were among the finalists for the national awards and I wish you good luck for next time.
Thank you so much. Fingers
Next
crossed.
time for the positive thinkers and believers.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So, Erica, AI's role in the workplace is often debated and now more. And what mindset shift do you wish more people had when it comes to integration between their jobs and AI?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. Mindset is the absolute key here when we talk about this because we see lots of organizations rolling out AI tools currently. We're seeing the start of a lot of AI enablement programs, adoption programs. So the chief tech officer or the chief transformation officer has been tasked in getting Microsoft Copilot, for example, across the organization. But it's quite interesting. A lot of my clients come to me where AI has been rolled out, but then the CTO is wondering why people aren't reveling in the benefits of using artificial intelligence and why they're not seeing that unlock productivity, efficiency, energy, excitement, whatever you want to think about from an AI perspective. And the shift has been, well, have you given people the time to really understand how they feel about new technology, specifically artificial intelligence, against the backdrop of not only kind of 25, 30 years of sci-fi programs and movies where we find about AI going self-aware and challenging the human race, but all of this negative narrative around AI is going to take our job. And only last week, I think Amazon announced 17,000 redundancies due to AI. This is the stuff that people are picking up. So we really need to invest in giving people the time, space, and energy to really understand how they feel about AI, build that confidence in using it, not just roll tech out and expect people to learn by osmosis, because we're humans. It doesn't work that way.
There's a lot of negative information. I'll agree with you. People are surprised when the productivity of AI is explained to them and what they can achieve and how efficiently they can do their job. Of course, there is always a hit when there is a new technology, like when the computers came, all the manual system was redundant, like overnight. But again, efficiency, it means a lot if people are able to adopt AI. And you have seen AI impact people in surprising ways. What's the most unexpected positive change you have witnessed in someone's career or your own personal growth?
Yeah, I think it's more like people recognizing how it can make their personal lives easier. It's not just another business transformation or rollout in a company that we just have to go along with. So the best use case I've ever seen is When we started filming AI for the Average Joe, our podcast show, Hayley Bird, my business partner, was telling me, and this is on episode 2 or 3 of season 1, it was a Sunday afternoon. It was tipping it down in the UK, as it often does. She had the kids at home, a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they were bouncing off the walls. They couldn't go outside and play. And she had this kind of moment of revelation where she went to ChatGPT and asked it to create 10 clues for a children's treasure hunt, one for a 6-year-old, one for a 9-year-old, which were going to keep them busy for at least an hour. She printed them off, cut them up, and put them around the house, and it kept the kids busy. And I think the more that we can collaborate with technology that literally makes our life easier. She had an hour of peace where the kids were busy for an hour. I'm not a parent, but I can imagine as a parent, that is gold dust. So thinking about how else this technology can make our lives easier, I call it the AI dividend, and we all have a different AI dividend. For me, I have fibromyalgia. I struggle with my energy. So using AI to run my business and my life allows me more rest time, for example, or more time with the people that I love or doing the things I enjoy. We can all get that AI dividend. For Hayley, as a working parent, that was an hour where she could sit down, have a cup of tea, and the kids were busy. So that's where the real richness, I think, of is this stuff, the human collaboration stuff.
And probably the way you're using it.
Yeah, and understanding how to use it in a way where you don't get frustrated with it because you've just put one line in and you're not getting the outcome that you hoped you would get. You're understanding that you're using it safely and ethically, particularly when it comes to kids using it, or if you're handling certain data or whatever that might be as well. So yeah, having that kind of safety net, that guardrail, I liken it to when you learn to drive a car, you don't just get in a car and drive off. You have to have driving lessons, for example, to understand how the car works. Then you have to have a sat nav, or we used to have maps, for example, that would show us where to go. We still need these kind of tools in our toolkit with AI. Yes, you can log into any kind of large language model and start using it, but you might not get the benefit if you don't know how to use it properly.
Yeah, coming back to driving license. So I'm struggling to get a driving license. I don't know. I can drive in my country. I'm driving since I was 13. Here,
Wow.
not pass a test. I don't know what is the problem. And I once asked ChatGPT and I told everything. And what ChatGPT said, basically the question was, how long will it take? And it was like 3 to 10. And I'm like, dude, we're not friends.
Maybe I'll just get an Uber or get the bus, right?
Yeah. So that's how difficult it is. But again, it tells you realities also.
Yeah, for sure.
It's revolutionizing all aspects of our lives. And, sometimes our friends are away and we just write a problem and we get solutions also. But again, how we use it, it matters. And how ethically we are using it, it also matters. And then there is another fear that 99% of the people they have a fear that they will lose their jobs. And especially after COVID, nobody wants to lose their job. How do you see it complementing human abilities instead? And what's an example of this in action? Like people who fear replacing
Yeah.
it.
And I think, let's face it, there will be movement in the labour market because of this technology. To your point around computers, calculators, rudimentary robots, some of the changes that we've seen in the past. On the flip side of that, what it also creates is new opportunity for people with new skills, new vocations, jobs that we don't even know exist yet. When I did my TEDx in 22, some of the research I was using from the World Economic Forum told me that 66% of children in school aged between 6 and 11 will go into a job that doesn't even exist yet. So it's to do with building those skills and capabilities of resilience, of learning agility, critical thinking, these kind of really core skills that we need as people to be able to facilitate and become the guardians of what we used to be, not just the doers. So we'll see, for example, some of those entry-level roles, administrative type roles will be displaced. But as employers, people, of the world, we have an accountability and a responsibility to make sure that those people have opportunities in other ways, or perhaps want to do stuff that just makes them happier and gives them better job satisfaction. On the flip side, we're going to have people who are perhaps later on in their careers that see this change as a step too far in terms of what they're willing to tolerate in their career and might exit the job sector quicker than perhaps, they might take an early retirement. I always tell the story in my webinars that my mum, left her job at a local council a couple of years earlier because the change between Windows 11 and Windows 8 and Windows 9 was too much, for example. And you know what? That's fine as long as that's people's decisions to make that are right for themselves. But it's easy to scaremonger to say we're going to lose X percentage of jobs, or as we saw last week around the Amazon clickbait story. But actually, when we dig underneath, Amazon didn't get rid of 17,000 people because of AI. They got rid of 17,000 people because they upgraded their operations and they redeployed some of those people. So like anything, a lot of this stuff isn't AI's fault and AI isn't causing it. AI is shining a light on some of the challenges that we've always had in skills, in leadership, in capability, in mindset, we're in a cost of living crisis, for example. There's other things that we need to look at for a philanthropic perspective. It's easy just to go, AI is going to take our jobs, AI is going to de-skill us, AI is going to make us stupid. AI is not going to make us do any of those things. We're the humans. We're in charge. It's the human intelligence that we need to keep remembering that's the most important thing.
Yeah, basically, like the negative, I think the PR, the news that comes from the journalist, they do their research. And then we have the news that comes from the content creators. And there is another name of them, like influencers. And I don't know, influence the innocent minds, and they trick them while they are the ones, and nobody asks them that you are the one who is using AI and making all those videos, improving your work and generating revenue, and yet you are spreading this news AI is going to take your job. Nobody
Yeah.
that you should develop your skill, you should see which AI will better your job, and you should get to that, learn it, because human beings are in charge when they evolve. If they stop evolving, they will not be in charge. So I completely agree with you. And in fact, my next question is very much correlated to this, that it's evolving very fast. Every day we have a new companies dropping a new different version of AI. And we believe that this is a skill that is now essential for success right now in present and in very near future. And how do you see that it's evolving so fast? It's required as an essential for success. And how can people start developing it even without a tech background? How do you see this?
Sure. I mean, the key for me with this stuff is going back to those wraparound skills, is things like learning agility. If you can develop the ability to put down skills and knowledge that no longer serve you for whatever reason and pick up new skills and knowledge and deploy and apply in record time, that could be building agentic AI, that could be working with people in a different way, managing in a way in the age of AI, for example, and not managing, how traditionally we've used to be managing. Another example of that is the pandemic, as you talked about. As managers, we had to very quickly learn how to manage and lead in a hybrid setting or a virtual setting, which is very different to in person. So that was a really good example of learning agility. Those people who evolve, like you talked about, become great at what they do. A lot of that is to do with their open mindset, their curiosity, their willing to learn, their ability to put down their ego and their power and their resources. Because let's face it, that stuff doesn't matter anymore, because if we relied on knowledge or being the expert, I'm sorry, the large language model has now democratized that for everybody to be able to access that information, which is why education is so threatened at the moment. That's not where the real power and resources lie now. It's the ability to say, okay, so I now need to pivot. I now need to do something different. I am now in a different environment. So therefore, I need to lean on my resilience. I need to lean on my ability to deploy something that I might not fully agree with, but I recognize it's for the greater good of everybody else, or for the organization, or for our customers, or whatever that might be. A lot of this is putting down ego. and being okay with living in the new world. Or whatever I say, the new world, it's always going to be the new world, isn't it? Because it's always changing. It's not like it's an end goal. Being comfortable with being uncomfortable, and not kind of letting our own issues get in the way of that, alongside managing things like mental health and well-being and all this other kind of massive intersection of stuff that we've got going on as a human race at the moment. That's where I think where we need to get to is those kind of skills, and working with new technology, the rate of change that we're seeing with that won't become so much of an issue for us if we can learn in that agile way.
Yes. And I think the ego issue is also a hindrance because
Mm.
they are not accepting it. And even the leadership, when they want to convert to technology, the people, employees are not accepting it because somehow there is a conflict of interest. There are people who do not want to get into learning and they do not want to get uncomfortable. They are just settled all their life. They want to do it the way they are doing it and go with the flow. And which is why the people have very reactions to AI. I'm sure the younger generation is excited also. They are very excited for everything, whichever is new for them. And what is the most common resistance you encounter and you have seen or heard, and how do you help them overcome it?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think maybe I look at this in too much of a black and white way, but like if you're on the bus and you might be at the front of the bus or the back of the bus, just get on the bus, just start to learn and start to, if you do feel resistant or you've got anxiety about something or you're fearful about something or you're excited about something, whatever that emotion might be, that's totally valid. That is okay to feel that emotion. We are allowed to recognize how we feel. But B, also recognize that if you continue to worry about something and not do something about it, the psychology of your brain will continue to fill you with those catastrophizing thoughts. And you might not perhaps pick up opportunities or see those opportunities that you might have seen if actually you said, you know what, I do feel like this, but I'm going to go and try something. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to go speak to somebody who does it really well. That again, that learning agility, that opportunity to go and say, I feel like this, that's okay. I don't like it, but I recognize I have a responsibility to go and do something about that myself. That's the important thing. Once you get people to a space where they kind of go, there's not going to be a knight in shining armor that's going to come and save you at the end of the day. And you're certainly not going to get a medal for the hardest life lived. Make your life easier. Have that light bulb moment where actually, if you don't want to use AI for work now, that's okay, but go and try it at home. Go and have a look at an app. What are your kids using AI for example? Like even the AI overview on like Google, when you do a Google search and stuff, just recognize that you are using this technology in one way or another. And you can't lead, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. I've seen people in sessions that are terrified of this technology or really don't buy it and have quite a closed mindset. As long as you can get them a step forward in one way, we all move at different paces. We all you and I get very excited very quickly about some things. A lot of people, it'll take a lot of reflection and deep introspection to move perhaps at the rate that we wouldn't. So it's about all the resources, the support, the training, the hearts and minds, the allowing people to challenge, allowing people to tell you how they feel about stuff, whether that's negative or positive. All of that is good stuff. Don't close it down. And if you're a leader in an organization thinking, I need to roll out AI. I need to do some AI literacy, some training, whatever. It's not just about the CEO doing an all hands recorded town hall type video around how we should be using it in our organization. The real unlock and scaling and efficiency comes down to that manager sitting down with that team member, either virtually or next door to each other, and saying, like, just talk to me. Talk to me about how you're feeling about this stuff. Having that real human to human conversation. That will be so much more effective than just rolling out an AI strategy on PDF and expecting everybody to read and sign it.
That's correct. Yeah,
Sorry, I got on my soapbox a little bit there.
you just gave an example of your colleague also, and like how she used it. She uses like how can she make her kids engaged in an activity for an hour so that they can record a podcast. And I think this is how we use it. And probably this is the best thing, that if you do not want to use it for work, try it for your personal, for any personal question. Try it at your home, and like, how can I design my house better? This is the color scheme I live in. This is how. And like, I also ask that, where is my time going? Is it going in editing? Is it going in outlining? Is it going here and there? Why am I tired? And then it gave me a whole schedule to do recording this day, to do editing this day, to do, like, scheduling, planning this day, because doing a podcast is a very difficult task. And I am a full-time student also. And so it takes a lot of time. And I agree with you that how you use it matters. And yeah, although I watch a lot of Chinese dramas and I have a very bad habit, and I did ask ChatGPT, how can I get out of that? So yeah, I just,
Yeah, I love that. It can be like that partner, that tutor, that coach, that buddy. I think the first thing I asked ChatGPT to do, one of the first things I asked when I opened an account a few years ago, call this lazy, call it smart, whatever you want to do. I don't really mind. I'd always wanted to read The Art of War by Sun Tzu, but I'll read the first quarter of a book and I'll put it down because I just get bored.
yeah.
But I always wanted to know, what were the key learning points? What was the art of war when it came to conflict and negotiation and business and all this kind of stuff? So I asked ChatGPT to summarize it in 10 key points. And I do feel like I've read now The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Granted, I didn't buy the book and go through every single page, but I feel like I understand the principles now and how to apply that. So it's that what's in it for me.
Yeah, I also understand this, like, sometimes, and even when you have a like 10 pages long document to read, and you need a summary of that, it helps you with your time. What you need is a summary. What you need to present is a summary. You are not going to write like a 10 pages proposal. What you need is a summary, key outcome. And we can use AI and ChatGPT. And I think, Erica, I don't know if you will agree, but I do feel that people think that it's very, like, if they tell somebody they use Chat GPT, people will think they're not talented. Do you see this is also a problem?
It drives me mad, this kind of instigation of shame and guilt and using artificial intelligence. And I see it on LinkedIn all the time and it drives me crazy. And I have to stop myself going to war with these people. Like, I'm not a keyboard warrior or anything like that, but like, I can get a bit preachy in regards to like mindset around this stuff. And like I always say, and I've just kind of mentioned it there, like, whether you're spiritual, religious or not, you don't get to the end of your time on this planet and you get to the pearly gates or whatever it is that you believe in, and you get a medal from St. Peter, St. Paul, saying you've lived the hardest life. You've really had a tough time. Well done, you. That's not what we're here for. It's not about, doing the slog. It's about the AI dividend. It's about, automating and delegating to our digital colleagues the work that we don't find inspirational, motivating or fun, which then frees our time up to do that work that we find more inspiring and it makes us happy, and we can get a better job satisfaction, or we can spend more time talking with our stakeholders, for example, and really understanding the core problems of what's going on. Rather than just kind of having to do the slog. And I just get crazy when I see people criticize online all these AI written posts or AI. If it's work slop, by the way, and what I mean by that is AI content that hasn't been quality checked and hasn't been collaborated with from a human intelligence perspective, that's one thing. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where we do collaborate and use AI to create stuff, which is perfectly great, but it might have some M dashes in it, or it might have some words in it that an AI model might typically use. And people go, oh, you've used AI for that. And it's like, but let's look at the output. The quality's still there. It's doing the job that I need it to do. And it's probably taken like a quarter of the time that it would have done for me to sit there and type out manually the blog or the report or whatever it would have been anyway. So I think it shows people's own insecurities when they criticize others for using these kind of technologies.
And what do you think is the underestimated challenge in aligning AI with the human values, and how can organizations and individuals address this to ensure like there is ethical, effective adoption?
Well, can you just say that again for me? Sorry, you broke up a wee bit there. I don't know if that's my end or your end. Just say the question again for me.
Okay, so what do you think is the most underestimated challenge in aligning AI with human values, and how can individuals and organizations
Okay.
address this to ensure ethical and effective adoption of the tool?
Yeah. So I guess we go back to what is the problem we're trying to solve with this technology? Because AI might not be the right technology for everything. And we can't just put it in a bucket of we're just going to use AI for everything. We need to understand, what's a human led task, what's a collaborative task, and what's an AI led task. And that will be different for different people in different organizations, thinking about different workloads in different ways. I think you need to start with how do you feel about using AI? What is your hang-ups? What's your confidence? What's your capability? What is it that you're trying to achieve with it? And therefore, do you feel capable with the right skills around prompting, quality checking? Have you developed your critical thinking, for example, which is going to get you to the output that you're looking for? Now, that of course has to line up with the expectations of the organization and its use of AI and your AI strategies and your AI policies and, the behavioral framework that might say, red, amber, green. Red is you can't use AI for this reason on this work. Amber is you might want to check with your manager, and green is crack on, do what you want. And that's led by the senior leadership team, right? That's the message that comes out from the organization that creates the culture. So I can see it's quite tricky for people to try and navigate this at the moment if their people leaders haven't come out and said, this is our stance on AI. So you might be an early adopter like you or me that wants to do everything with AI. But if my framework of my job and my reference, my organization says that's not right or that's not clear, then clearly we've got a problem there. So I think the important piece there is clear communication from leaders, from organizations, from anybody who's supporting people using AI. That needs to be super clear. And also, we've got to give people time to innovate and test and learn and try different things and have the time and resources to do that so they then can really drive those efficiencies and scale that up across the organization. That's when organizations are going to see the real benefit.
Erica, you were among the finalists for the 2025 AI Speaker National Awards. And what excites you most about this recognition, and how does it shape your vision of a human centered AI in the workplace?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I was so honoured to be shortlisted as well. And you know what? All four finalists were women, which was even more exciting for me. So it was great. Each submission was very much separate on its own, but had that kind of human centeredness in regards to the relationship. I'm not a techie. I'm not a computer scientist. I can't code. I don't understand anything like that. I'm just really curious in regards to how we can get the best out of partnerships with this technology. And that's what I think the judges recognized in my talking, my professional speaking, and the message that I like to share with people, because we can't just go straight down the road of like everything's technical, everything's full of jargon. We'll just isolate people and alienate people. We've got to take people on the journey. And I think all four speakers in that category had developed a message that was really clear that it is a human intelligence, artificial intelligence collaboration. It's not just defaulting everything to tech, crossing our fingers and hoping that it will, the best will happen, because we can't do that with technology, particularly this kind of technology. We need to kind of stay ahead as the humans, and we need to enable people to stay ahead as well. So AI for the Average Joe, which is my keynote, very much talks about the human psychology behind how we feel about AI and why it's so important to give people the time and space to really digest what that means, some of the stuff that we've talked about today.
Erica, I will especially see your TEDx because, you have a very positive attitude and a very pleasant aura. And you're one of the few people I meet. And
Thank you.
I don't know, people call me sometimes very, I don't know, it's a bad word they use, because for me it's not like how successful somebody is. For me, how kind somebody is, and how positively they take others and how respectfully they reciprocate other people's feeling. So I have seen it in you, and you're mashallah, you're one of the best guests I had over this time for my podcast. And I but I, yeah, would love to understand one thing from you, that how do you handle stress? How do you stay positive? Because it's time, unfortunately, there is something in the air where we all are very upset. We are upset about everything. I don't know why are we upset, but we have everything. These are the times when we have much better resources than in past, and everything is going well. Still, everybody is so upset. How do you keep this positive, smiling aura? And I'm sure people around you are very blessed to have. Like, if I have a friend like you, where I can go and meet, hug in a week, I'll be saying Alhamdulillah on this, and I'll be very thankful to Allah. So I'm sure people around you, they are very, very blessed to have you around. And let me know, how do you stay positive?
Oh, thank you so much for your kind words, and your friend sounds lovely, and it's always fantastic to have someone in your life. And I have people in my life who, Haley, my business partner, for example, is probably the most empathic person you will ever meet, the most self-aware person you will ever meet. And she can just look at my face before I say anything and know something's up. And I'm not always positive and bubbly. I have my down times as well. I struggle with anxiety. I'm on a pathway for ADHD diagnosis at the moment. I think what I've always been thankful for is my self-confidence. I see that as a superpower. If I want to do something, I believe I have the resources and capability to go and do something. Hence why I wanted to write the book and get my TEDx and all that kind of stuff. Once I put my mind to something, I genuinely normally achieve it. And I believe that I have the resources to do that. So I think an open mindset really helps that as well. And I believe that you make your own luck. So by putting yourself in situations and opportunities, by sending the message and asking for somebody's time, by asking for that opportunity, by being somewhere with the right people around you, I believe opportunities flow from that. So really putting yourself in the position to learn from amazing people, spend time with amazing people. The amount of people that when I was writing the book, I messaged to say, any chance you'll do me a quote? And everybody came back and said, absolutely, Erica, I'd absolutely love to do that for you. I was humbled by that. But I'd surrounded myself with the right people, with the right mindset, the right curiosity, the right positivity. I think that's half the battle.
Thank you, Erica, for sharing this. This was very personalized and complete message. And we have to stay positive, and we have to create an environment of people and things that leads us to stay much more positive and progressive. And any final message that you would like to give to youngsters, to people who are afraid of using AI about this podcast, and before we sign off?
Yeah, just have a go. Just connect with the right people. Connect with me. Connect with you. Connect with those people on LinkedIn, who are talking about this stuff. Spend a bit of time investing about how you feel the way you do and why that is. Talk to people, learn from people. If you've got kids using it, go and be curious around what they're using it for. Go and ask the question. Don't be afraid to actively learn about this stuff. Because if you sit in kind of a little hobble feeling sorry for yourself or being scared and not doing anything about it, then opportunities will pass you by. So put yourself out there, go and ask that question. Anybody watching this podcast, send me a LinkedIn request. I'm very happy to connect. There's really good people out there. You've just got to take the opportunity.
That's very beautiful message, Erica. Thank you so much. And I look forward to connecting you again on life philosophies, because I would love to have a conversation about life with you. How open-minded you are. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Sounds great. I would love to.
Thank you, Erica, for sharing all these beautiful things and experiences with us. So AI is a tool that you will decide how to use, because you are in charge of it. And this is what Erica's message is for all of us. Thank you so much. And I'll get back to you with another amazing guest and another amazing conversation very soon.
Brilliant. Thank you.